This monitor actually blew me away. I was not expecting to make a video on this thing, but I really feel the need to do so just because of how great this monitor actually is. The colors out of the box are incredible. Now, I have had AOC monitors in the past. I am constantly upgrading my monitors just to create content on them. However, this was really just a purchase to set up at my little PC test station. This is not my typical gaming setup. This is just where I build computers for people, and then when they come to get the computers that I build for them, I have a separate monitor over there just to actually test the computer. But the problem with that is that I had a little 60 hertz monitor that just was not, it wasn't nice. It was over there just because it was. And then I saw this on Amazon and I couldn't pass it. I saw all the reviews and all of that kind of stuff, and it was just, they were overwhelmingly positive. And that is why I got this. And then when I got it, set it up and plugged it in for the first time, it was just the colors right out of the box. That is really what surprised me the most. Forgot to say to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment.
I hate saying it just as much as you probably hate me saying it, but if I do not say it, like 1% of you will actually do it.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Obviously, having a 180 hertz refresh rate is also a benefit when I'm, setting these PCs up for people to come over and, test them to make sure that they actually want them. I don't want them playing games on a 60 hertz monitor when the computer is more than capable of doing that. So that is why I got the 180 hertz refresh rate. That way, even if they're not seeing like 1440p, if the computer is capable of 1440p or 4K, they're at least seeing the refresh rate at that resolution, knowing that it is actually running at that resolution, so that they can get an idea of what it's like to actually have that refresh rate at higher resolutions, if that makes sense to you. Now, this does come with AMD FreeSync as well. It has HDR. The HDR, I don't really think that it's too good. However, with that said, NVIDIA on their new graphics cards and the new NVIDIA control panel, they do have the HDR adjustment in there, like the overlay thing that, how like where you're in your NVIDIA control panel while you're playing a game and you can adjust the brightness, you can adjust the contrast, you can adjust the saturation, you can adjust the vibrancy, you can adjust the sharpness, etc. They now have an HDR option that basically, it's way better than Windows like automatic HDR. However, you are going to need the latest driver for your graphics card in order to use that. I just felt the need to say that because it works really, really well, especially on like the TVs, like Hisense TVs as an example. The HDR on those TVs is really bad. All it really does is it just lowers the brightness. It doesn't do anything as far as like adjusting the whites and adjusting the blacks. It really just kind of like dims the actual screen to make the blacks more black, but it also makes the whites more darker. So it's just a very bad HDR experience. However, it's not terrible on this monitor. I just don't think that if you're into HDR, I wouldn't get this for that unless you have an NVIDIA GPU, because the application and the overlay actually works extremely well. The only downside to that is, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that only works inside of video games. So this also, obviously, this is AOC. It's backed by an amazing warranty. The connectivity options are great. It offers what you need. It's the HDMI display port, whatever you need, and it's going to come with the wires that you need in order to connect everything. And then the one thing I do want to make a note about is I did set up my own my monitor arm at my station over there. The one that this comes with it's pretty slim, and the problem with that is like the wires. It's pretty hard to hide the wires behind the monitor. However, that's just me being nitpicky. The actual screen itself is amazing. I genuinely was not expecting to make a video on this thing, but I just felt the need to do so just because of how awesome it is. So I highly recommend this thing.